You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
All right, you guys. Appreciate all y'all for tapping in, supporting the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Salute to everybody, man, who just been constantly understanding my point of view in this case, in this investigation, and in this situation, and just having an open mind. You know, a lot of people, when you come on the internet, they don't have an open mind towards things. They want things to be the way they want it to be, and once they see it like that, it's nothing else to see. And I think that's a dangerous, and I think that's a very sad mindset to have. And the reason why I say that is because you have so many people that's in our common everyday life to life journey that have to be on jury pools, that have to, have people's lives in the balance and everything like that. And if these people aren't thinking, if they don't know how to think, if they don't know how to read situations, read evidence, and things like that, or just read a circumstance, um, it can really hurt us a lot. But I have a question for the parents of Nolan Wells, and I pray for them, and I hope that they get all of the comfort that they need at this time. I know it's a devastating situation to lose your son like that, and not really have the answers you want to have, man, and doing everything you can do to get the answers. And I pray they do get the answers. But with that being said, I believe and I hope that the parents, and I'm not saying that they aren't, but I hope that they are unturning every single stone in this situation. Now, we heard reports that the parents had come out and subpoenaed the records, or they asked the boys to preserve the records of their messages, also through legal notices. Also, we've heard that they've done this to Snapchat, all the main service as well, uh, WhatsApp, all those different companies. They've sent notices to preserve as well. But the one person I didn't hear that they asked to preserve, and that's Katie. Once again, I want to make this clear. I am not accusing Katie of a crime. But what I am doing is I am saying that Katie needs to be brought to the forefront. I don't want to hear nobody talk for Katie. I don't want to hear what Katie's sister got to say. I don't want to hear about no allegations around, oh, what she may have said. No, no. I want to hear from Katie herself. I want to know that the parents preserve and ask Katie to preserve her text messages. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. Katie has been able to be quiet and fly under the radar this entire time. She is the biggest key in this entire investigation, in my opinion. Why? Because Katie does something that's major. She either can help further implicate somebody, or she can help create a new timeline, right? Now, to the person who says, because Katie ain't got shit to do with it, see, you're capping for Katie, man. You're capping for a person you've never met, you never know, you have no personal connection to. You don't know anything about Katie, except for that she's a white girl in Mississippi. That's the only thing you know. And here's the other thing. You don't know anything personally about those boys. The only thing you have from those boys is what they've said on social media in the interviews. You know why? Because they had enough nuts to come out here and interview when all these people was out here calling them murderers. But guess what? Katie ain't never had to face that heat. You know why? Because she stayed in the back in the cut and not said nothing to the public. So when you say no, she's not Katie, she doesn't have anything to do with it, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And this is the cap I'm talking about, y'all. This is why some things never get resolved, because people are afraid to look in certain places. And when your mind prejudges one thing and you say, you know what, I don't even want to look over there, you're not doing a real investigation. See, when you're doing a real investigation, you're looking at everything everybody got that was involved that day. Katie is one of the biggest players in this entire case. And the reason why I say that is because Katie was the one who was reportedly lined up with Nolan Wells that day. Period. There ain't nothing else to say about it. Katie has been accused of having text messages that she sent to those boys that said, and I'm going to say it again. Hold on. You're right, MeFlo. That's my point. You're making my point for me. You don't have any brains at all. You're defunct of brains. All you got is weave. That's it. How about you change the weave and get some brains? Because if you had some brains, this is why I'm asking questions about everybody. Because you know why? I know nobody. And so when I know nobody, I ask questions from everybody that was there. See, when you want a real investigation, you ask questions from everyone that was there, not just who you feel in your heart and in your mind and your spirit. Why? Because you don't know Katie, ma'am. You don't know anything about Katie, ma'am. And guess what? Neither do I. And this is the reason why. And I'm going to say it again. This is, you sound know what I'm talking about? Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I know that's not your real hair. Weavy Wonder. You won't hear running your mouth. I know that's not your real hair. Now, you want to bet that? Now, like I said before, Katie need to be questioned. Immediately, she need to be questioned about her personal text messages. Why am I saying this? Because nobody's ever heard from Katie. So, if Katie was to come to the public, you guys, think about this. If Katie was to do an interview with Nancy Grace, if Katie was to come to the public and say that I sent those boys a text message the afternoon of the 4th of July, and I sent the boy the text message when he was asking me about Nolan, and I told that boy that Nolan refused, I witnessed Nolan refused to get on the boat with those other boys. You know what that does? That changes up a lot of things. And once again, you say, I don't have no brains. I have more brains than everybody else that's talking about this case. You know why? Because I'm not just going to call boys a murderer without evidence. See, Ben Crump is not calling those boys a murder without evidence, ma'am. And you're not calling Ben Crump stupid, dumb, idiotic. See, a wise man will always look at every single piece. Once again, your brain is not sharp. And you're going to see why. In the end, all of these people are going to see why. They're all going to see why. When you have an investigation like this, you don't duck no smoke. You question everybody. And the fact that they're afraid, think about this, y'all. They're afraid for little old Katie to come out. Once again, I'm going to say this again. They're afraid for little old Katie to come out and talk to the public. They're afraid. They don't want to hear it. Picture this. Picture you have a death investigation. And one of the key people, that name is involved in this investigation. Even if we don't believe Katie did anything nefarious, she's one of the key names in this investigation. Why wouldn't people want to hear from her? Make it make sense. You know why? Because in their little petty minds, they already have dictated what they think happened. They don't want the real evidence of the case to lead them to the truth. They want whatever their opinion is. And this is the reason why. See, this is the reason why I said you don't have any brains, ma'am. This is the reason why. And I'm going to say it again. Baby, get emotion. Now, the reason why I said you don't have any process of thinking, ma'am, is because of this. Nobody's asked Katie what she said in her text messages in the public. Think about this. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. All these people that love Katie, I'm going to tell y'all the truth on YouTube today. All these people that love Katie and that are protecting Katie and that don't want Katie to come out and say nothing because they want it to be the boys so bad. Here's the thing, right? If it came out that Katie's text messages exonerated those boys, if it came out that it's true that Katie told the police that she witnessed Nolan Wells not get on that island, not get on that boat at 4:30 and stay on the island, even though she thought he was going to get on the boat, but he didn't. They're done. They're going to turn on Katie. They don't want that. They don't want to hear that. I'm going to say this again. They don't want to hear all of this testimony from everybody else. See, let me tell you something. The thing about me, I'm going to go question everybody that's out there. I'm not just going to say, hey, man, I just want to talk to the boys. That's it. No. No. I want to talk to all the boys. I want to talk to all the girls. And I want to talk to all the adults that was out there that day that witnessed Nolan Wells. I want to talk to as many people as possible. Guess who else I want to talk to? I want to talk to anybody that may have had any communication with any of those boys that day. You know what that's called? That's called real investigative journalism. That's not called picking and choosing based off how you feel. See, the hatred in your heart makes you want to just say those boys, when it could have been a whole different set of white boys that Nolan got into it with. But because your mindset, once again, because your mindset is so minuscule, it's so small, you will listen to anything somebody tell you on the internet that they get from TikTok or Instagram, come on here and act like it's real evidence, when Ben Crump himself ain't accusing none of those boys of murder. You make yourself look foolish to people who really have common sense. The bottom line is, you have to ask yourself, how will these people treat Katie if Katie's text messages exonerate the boys? How will they treat Katie, y'all? Once again, I need everybody to answer this question. How will they treat Katie if Katie's text messages exonerate the boys? Meaning, gives them an alibi. More videos coming out. More footage is leaking. Right? That looked like Nolan right there. With those sandals on, those blue shorts on, and that white shirt on. That looks like Nolan. Right there in the middle of your screen. Now, you might say, oh, Ticket, I don't like fucking Tatum. It ain't about Tatum. Guess what? All these people on the internet are reacting because Tatum's the one that's actually putting out evidence. What do I mean? I don't care about what Tatum says. I think Tatum is a despicable individual that hates his own people. What I care about is real evidence in this case. You see what's on your screen right there? That's a real video from that day on the mainland. So like I told y'all from the very beginning, listen to what I said to y'all. And to the person who said I'm on Tatum's yacht, fuck Tatum. I don't care about Tatum. He's nothing to me. What's important to me is evidence. See, if you don't have a brain to think about what I'm saying, I can't argue with you. It's not like I can't make you have a brain to think. The only thing I care about is real evidence. That's it. This right here is admissible in court. This is a real video. This is real evidence. So listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want all the real evidence, not hearsay, not this one, that one. I don't want to hear none of that. That's why I want to know why so many people got a problem when you ask to see Katie's phone. It's evidence. You should not have a problem want to see evidence in this case. I don't want to hear innuendos. I don't want to hear allegations. I don't want to hear anything. All I want to see is evidence. Now, I asked y'all a question the other day before this video came out. I said, was Nolan wearing sandals? Was Nolan wearing a shirt with those glasses he had on before they took that infamous picture with the boys? This one. Where's that picture at that I had? Oh, I erased that picture. Well, I had that picture with him and the boys that was sitting on the boat, the infamous one. Y'all know the one I'm talking about. It looks like Nolan did have a shirt on, a white shirt. It looks like he did have sandals on, chancletas. What happened to the shirt and to the sandals? Nobody's talking about that. Remember I told y'all this? I asked y'all, I said, hell, hold on, man. Did Nolan have a shirt on that day? Nobody asked this question on the internet. You know why? Because they don't care about evidence. They only care about, I think them boys did it, those boys. And they don't care about nothing else. You don't solve cases like that. You solve cases by looking at all of the actual evidence. And so somebody said they got a hold of me, got me, okay, nobody shake me, nigga. I walk with God, nigga. See, if you're going to say that, you have to say that to Ben Crump. Because Ben Crump is not accusing any of these boys of murder. When Ben Crump was asked, Ben Crump said, hey, man, I can't speculate. I can only go off evidence. That's what Ben Crump said. But you didn't say Ben Crump sounds scared. See, it's a difference between being scared and being stupid. It's a major difference. And a lot of people are going to learn a harsh lesson in the difference of being scared and being stupid. A person who's scared wouldn't touch or talk about this case at all. They'll duck this smoke. Me, I'm not ducking any smoke. I want to see Katie's phone. And why is there so much backlash when you ask to see Katie's phone that day? Why did she get to have a protection program on the internet when you ask to see her phone? Answer that question. How can you say Ticket is on a payroll when nobody's paying Ticket? How can you say Ticket's on a payroll when Ticket thinks that Nolan Wells did not die by an accident? You know what Ticket thinks? Ticket thinks that if we see Katie's phone, we can determine what group of people we really need to be looking at. The ones before 4:30 or the ones after 4:30? Because if Katie's phone, that day, not afterwards when you got time to think, no, that day, the 4th of July, when the boy wrote her, asking her, have you seen Nolan? I want to see her messages in response to that question from the boys. Because her messages that day, when your mind is fresh and you cannot make up anything that happened in that moment, you don't have time to really think and go over no game plan, those are the messages I want to see. And if you don't want to see Katie's messages, something is wrong with you. You really don't want to see about this case. Because guess what? Katie's messages could say, hey, man, I saw Nolan get on the boat. And then guess what that does? That puts all those boys in a very bad situation. But what's the harm in looking at Katie's messages? Why is everybody fighting so hard to look at Katie's messages? Ask yourself this question. All you want Katie to do is come out to the public and reveal what she was messaging that day. And people got so much animosity towards that. They don't even know this girl from a can of paint. And they say, hey, man, leave Katie alone, man. She already gave her story. No. What the fuck you mean leave her alone? We've never heard Katie say a word. Period. And I'm going to say it again. Her phone is major in this case. Why? Because if Katie said to that boy that messaged her, hey, man, I saw Nolan get on that boat, then it's game over for those boys. But if Katie said in that message, I saw Nolan refuse to get on the boat, I thought he was going with them, but he didn't, and she witnessed him stay on that island after the boys left, Now that gives you a whole different group of people you need to be looking at. Now imagine if you don't even do an investigation of where you even analyze Katie's phone. Katie need to be analyzed. She need to be thoroughly questioned by the public. And she need to be put on the spot by everybody that's watching. And in the general public. She don't get no pass. And why people think that she deserves a pass is utterly disgusting to me. Katie do not deserve a pass. She don't get no pass around here, man. She just sit her ass up here and answer them questions just in the public. I wouldn't give a damn if she go on Nancy Grace now, because I know Nancy Grace is going to ask her good questions. But when you have a situation where people are asking for transparency, which means they want things to be put out in the public, this is why Katie should not be protected to and held private. But see, when you're brainwashing and thinking that somebody did something, it don't matter what you think, you're always going to think they did. And this is the reason why we have so many people in this world right now that are in prison, doing prison time, that was wrongfully convicted. You know why? Because the jury pool was made up of dummies, like the people y'all seeing on the internet right now, that don't know how to think and don't know how to process information. Real information will go off any internet rumor and don't want to see facts. I want to see evidence. That's what I want to see. See, I've always said this, facts over feelings. Facts over feelings. See, the evidence is what was going to be said in them phones that day. The evidence is whatever is on all these video footage on the mainland. The evidence is what was in the witness's testimony that was on the island that day. That was only given to the cops. Any investigator worth their salt is questioning everybody that was on that island that day. If I'm truly trying to investigate a case, I'm asking everybody on that island what happened. I'm not just saying, yo, it's just the boys. You'll be a damn fool. There was always a saying, you guys, never put all your eggs in one basket. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of these content creators, the biggest mistake they've ever made is put all their eggs in one basket. Because guess what? If they're wrong, they're done. This is, and especially when you haven't even seen the evidence in the case file from the state. Didn't I tell y'all they got way more videos with the cops than y'all seen? Think about this. And you don't even have to like Tatum. I don't like Tatum at all. This has nothing to do with Tatum. This is video evidence. This is real, raw video evidence from that day. Has nothing to do with what Tatum said. I don't give a fuck about what Tatum said. I want to see evidence. See, this is the part people don't understand. Evidence is what solves cases, not feelings. Not feelings. Once again, right? To the person who said Katie ain't lawyered up, do you know who Katie is? You talk to Katie? Y'all see the protection program going on out here? Did you talk to Katie? Do you know who Katie is? Did you talk to her? You said Katie's not lawyered up. How do you know that? Did you talk to her? Are you her sister? Are you her cousin? Are you her mama? Are you a family member of hers? Do you know anything about Katie, or are you just running your fucking mouth? I'm asking the question. You. Your name is Moneybags Bitches. That's your name. That's all we need to know about you. No self-respect whatsoever. Sit down somewhere. This is what women out here calling themselves on the internet in the year 2026. And y'all respecting this? But then when you get a real one like me to call this foolishness out, now it's a problem. She will degrade herself and call herself that name and then come in the comments and say, this is the type of stinking thinking we got going on in the community, man. It's sad. See, if you really want to know the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells, you want to see evidence. You talking about following the case, you haven't followed the case. Because how is somebody supposed to know Katie hired a personal lawyer or not? How could you know that? You said you followed the case. Are you her personal assistant? See how people just saying shit on the internet and they don't have no evidence? Nobody in this building knows. If you're not related to Katie or in her house or went downtown, how could you know she hired a lawyer or not? You just talking shit. Period. You're going off of unconfirmed rumors. See? And this is what you can't do. You can never go off unconfirmed rumors. You know why I say that? Because for years, it had been rumored that when Tupac Shakur died, when he was dying at the car scene, before they airlifted him, the last words he told the cop was, "Fuck you." Well, that's not true. Because yesterday in court, the cop said the last thing Tupac told him was, "Hey, man, I know who it is. We'll handle it." The FU was for the general public for years to soak up in some theatrical type of bullshit. But the reality was different. You know what? The same thing with the rumor that Tupac allegedly was hanging out the car, tossing it up and shit like that when Keefe D and them seen him and turned around and went over there and murdered. The girl went in the court yesterday who was a witness and said, nah, Tupac wasn't hanging out no window like that when we pulled up on him. It was normal. So see how little details like that can be put out here and lied to the public for years? But then when you get people who are actually there, you get a whole different account. That's why I said evidence means everything. Fact over feelings. And this is not me exonerating the boys. I don't give a shit about the boys. I don't give a damn about them boys. I'm telling you the truth. That's what I'm saying. If her messages say that that Nolan got on that boat, the boy's in trouble. That's why I want to see her messages. But I ain't going to come out here and accuse somebody of murder like a lot of people have been doing and insinuating when I ain't even seen the case file from the state. When Ben Crump's not accusing them of murder. Think about this. Ben Crump has not came out here and accused any of those boys of murder. He got investigators on the ground. And then when Ben Crump don't say what people want him to say, and he comes and tells you, hey, man, look, we ran out of options, y'all. We need the FBI to get involved. We got the NAACP getting involved now because his investigation found nothing criminal. To the lady who said, I've been doing this too. No, I have not. I've literally come on the internet, man. Yeah, everybody can attest to this on my channel. I literally have come on the internet. And when I've come on the internet, I've said, I don't know. Because I have not seen the case file. And that I want to see the evidence. I don't want to see what a motherfucker said on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. I don't care about none of that shit. I want to see the evidence. I want to see phone records, text messages. I want to hear from actual witnesses or people who were there that day. I want to see any video footage that's official, audio that's raw and official, which Ben Crump checked the official audio and came up with nothing. This is why he dropped the letter the other day and said, man, we ain't got no evidence. And when you show people this, they get mad. To the lady who said Katie already said she got nothing to do with it. See, this is the problem with you. Katie hadn't said anything. You are a fucking liar. This is the lies that's going on the internet, y'all. Look at this girl. Katie already said she ain't got nothing to do with it. Katie has not said one word this whole time. You're a liar. You are a liar. Katie has not said one word the entire time. You can't even tell me what Katie sounds like. You can't even tell me what Katie sounds like. Stop lying. You are a liar. You are a liar. Katie already said she ain't got nothing to do with it. Katie ain't said a word. We ain't heard Katie say nothing. I haven't heard Katie say a word. Katie is innocent. How do you know? Have you been down on the ground investigating the case? None of us would know. Why? Because none of us have been on the ground investigating the case. That's why I said I want to see her messages and hear from her. See how this woman lies? Oh, Katie said, look at this, leave Katie alone. Why is there a protection plan for Katie? Right? Oh, so are you guys sexist towards the boys? When you look at American history, let's look at American history. Why do most young men die if they're killed? Because some of y'all are saying he was killed. So why do young men die if they're killed? Let's look at history. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. When it's beef involving two men, what's the normal common denominator, you guys? See, they don't want to do that. Right? I'll tell you right now. They don't want to play this game with me. I'm cut from a whole different cloth, baby. Straight up. Right? And once again, all I'm saying is, I want to see them. See, you get so much pushback when you say, yo, I want to hear what she got to say. I want to see her text messages. It's insane, the protection program they got for this girl. And I'm not even accusing her of anything wrong. I'm just saying, you were there that day. You are a key figure that day. Let me see your text messages. Think about this. Think about what I just said to y'all. And I'm telling y'all from a person, I don't know any of the real information from any of these people we haven't heard from. Period. And she's saying put some respect on Katie's name. I can't put respect on Katie's name when you can't even put your respect on your own name. You call your own self a BITC bleep. I can't even respect that. You are a woman and call yourself a BITC. There's no way I can respect anything you say. See the hypocrisy there? You tell me to respect Katie's name, but you don't even respect your own name. You call yourself a BITC bleep. Look at your name. Respect yourself, man. Have some respect. Have some decency for yourself. Period. Excuse me. Here's the problem that you have, ma'am. Once again, and I'm going to say it like you said, I'm mad I'm not coming like you. No, I'm happy I'm not coming like you. You are the problem with women in the society today, that you will call yourself that and degrade yourself like that. You are a serious problem. That you would degrade yourself like that, you're a problem. Have some respect for yourself and don't lower your standards like that. And let me say this to you, right? To the girl who says this, she says, do you know who they are? Ma'am, you're literally making my point. This is why I tell y'all people don't think on the internet. Ticket doesn't know any of these people. Ticket doesn't claim to know any of these people. Anybody that's watched my channel, you've heard me. I have never claimed to know any of these people. That's why I don't trust any of them. That's why I want to see the messages and hear from all of them. I don't want to hear from Tom, Dick, or Harry. I want to hear from Katie. I want to see Katie's messages. Why? Because I don't know Katie. The same way I heard what the boys said. Why? Because they came public. I want to hear what Katie has to say. You know why? Because based off what Katie says, I might want to hear what somebody else got to say. But if I never listen to what Katie says, how can I even come to a determination? This is common sense. When you don't know nobody, you question everybody. Period. I don't think people understand English on the internet. It's sad. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see the pushback you get when you question Katie? They have a protection plan around Katie. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If it comes out in the case file that Katie exonerated those boys, they're going to all turn on Katie. Watch what I tell you. In a New York minute, they're going to turn on Katie. If it comes out and that when they drop that investigation file, that Katie went to that police officer and she told them that Nolan didn't get on the boat with them boys, they're going to turn on Katie. I'm telling y'all this. That protection program going to be over with. So, when you know nobody, this is why you question everybody. See, with me, don't nobody get a pass. I'm not just looking at the boys. I'm looking at everybody that was on Horn Island that day. Period. I'm looking at everybody that was on Horn Island that day. And once again, I'm not saying Katie is guilty of any crime. This is the thing that's going past people's head. That's why it's making me so anxious and so questionable that these people are so protective of Katie when they don't even know Katie. They've never heard Katie say a word. They've never heard Katie say one word. Not one, ever. Oh, man, don't say that to Katie, man. What you mean? She need to bring her ass in this office, sit down, and talk to people online, and go do the interview and be questioned publicly. Why? Because Nolan parents have asked for public transparency. Right? See, when you ask for transparency, that means you want things out in the open. That's what transparency means, right? You want a transparent government, right? That they are showing you what they're actively doing instead of hiding it behind closed doors. That way you have faith in the government. That's the problem now. When you don't have transparency, there's lack of faith. So when you want transparency and investigation, there should be no blowback for me saying, hey man, Katie's the main figure that day. I'm not saying she's guilty of anything. I'm just saying that she needs to come out and speak. And she needs to come out and say, hey, what's up? Because I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to prove y'all a point. If Katie says that I saw Nolan stay on the island, they're going to turn on her. I promise y'all this. Every single person that's in here capping for Katie right now, they're going to turn on her. They're literally going to turn on her. She's going to become public enemy number one. They would rather her be quiet than them have to go cook her. I'm telling you this. That's the sad part. And me, all I'm saying is, hey man, I'm looking at everybody. Ain't nobody get to pass around here. Everybody was on that island. Think about that, because I don't know any of these people. So I need to see what your evidence shows. I need to hear what you say. That's your testimony. And I need to see what your phone says that day. Yeah, that day. And if you have any problems with Katie's phone being shown, you're full of shit. And you should never be a person that should ever be allowed as a part of any type of investigation, any type of jury, anything that has to do with any investigative work. Because you're a horrible investigator. Rule number one in investigating: question everybody that was there. That's rule number one. That's rule number one. Rule number one is you question everybody that was there, right? Think about this. Even if I say, you know what, I think that person did it. Guess what? You still have to do your due diligence and question everybody there, because somebody there might tell you something you didn't know. Once again, until the person said everything I say is a bunch of bullshit, prove it. Why? Because I said that they need to question Katie? That's bullshit? Did I lie when I said that Ben Crump has never accused those boys of murder? Has Ben Crump ever accused those boys of murder, Me-Flo? Me-Flo, has Ben Crump ever accused those boys of murder? I'm asking you a question. Ma'am, you're making my point. I don't think that you can really think. I don't think that you have I don't think that you're functioning correctly as far as how you're thinking. You're making my point. 99% of the people on the internet are not on the ground. They're not. But you listen to them when they tell you shit off TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm telling you, I only want to hear from the people that were there. And you got a problem with that? Right? That's what I'm telling you. Right? Once again. Man, listen, some people ain't thinking about shit at certain times, brother. Frank Jones, that's not what I'm questioning. I want to see everybody's messages. Once again, what you're saying don't mean nothing. And to the lady who said you walk with God, I walk with God. You know why I walk with God? Because I don't accuse people of murder without evidence, right? I don't put bullshit on people's name and smut on people's name without evidence, right? And you keep talking. Look, Baldy Locks, you blocked. I had to get Baldy Locks out of here. My bad, y'all. So, anyways, like I was telling y'all, right? And I'll say it again, right? The bottom line is this. That girl need to be questioned in public. And we need to see her text messages. All these people that's protecting her, I'm telling y'all this. Everybody listening to this video, please understand one thing. I want y'all to understand one thing. If Katie comes out and says that the boys, listen to what I'm telling y'all now. If she comes out and she reveals and she says, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now to the person who said it, bro, shut up. I'm talking about an investigation. What are you talking about? Sit down and shut up. I'm telling you, if Katie comes out and she says, I saw Nolan refuse to get on the boat, guess what's gonna happen? All these people that have been capping and protecting Katie are gonna turn on her and say, oh, she's a part of them. I knew it. I knew it. You can't trust them. But you was trusting them this whole time. You was trusting them this whole time. So you would question all the white boys, but you won't question the white girl. Make it make sense. They have all the questions about the white boys, but don't have no questions about the white girl. Make it make sense. And then, as soon as she was come out, if she were to say that she witnessed Nolan, all she got to do is say she witnessed Nolan refuse to get on that boat. They're going to all turn on her. Watch what I tell you. They're going to say, oh, she took a bag. She sold out. This, that, and the third. I'm trying to tell y'all this. This is why I said you question everybody. This is why I said we have to look at her records. This is not even a question. We have to look at her messages to see what she said, because what she said can change everything. It's really that true. If she said in those messages that Nolan didn't get on the boat, it changes everything. If she says Nolan did get on the boat, man, it hurts those boys. But we should know the truth about what she said that day. And if don't nobody want to know the truth, you really don't want to know the investigation. And that's the facts. Excuse me, you're a liar. You said Nolan, she said she didn't see Nolan get on the boat. We haven't heard Katie say a word. Nobody has ever heard Katie speak. So you're lying. Nobody has ever heard Katie speak. Anybody that comes in here and says, I heard Katie say, you're a liar. Katie hasn't said a word. We haven't heard Katie say nothing. This man says she saw Katie. She did not say that. We haven't heard Katie say nothing. She's never done an interview. She's never done an interview. She's never spoken a word in public. Ever. The only person you heard was from a sister of hers. You haven't heard from her. Think about it. Investigation 101, man. You've never heard from Katie. You only heard from her sister. That's it. You never heard her mouth. Her sister can say anything to protect her sister. Right? But if her sister wasn't there, how could her sister come out? Doesn't matter. Was her sister there that day? Was Katie's sister there that day? See, this is the next question y'all not asking. Was Katie's sister there that day? Once again, no, you don't have to take what her sister says. I don't want to hear what her sister says. When you do a police investigation or when you do an investigation and Katie's the subject, they're going to ask Katie. I ain't finna ask your freaking sister. I'm not talking about she told her sister. I don't give a fuck about what she told her sister. I'm talking about her personally. See, this is the problem y'all got. This is the problem y'all got. And this is the problem I have. I don't give a shit about her sister. I want to hear from her. Once again, you said why they took her. What do you mean? She talked to the cops. She went and talked to the police. It's being reported that she is one of the witnesses that talked to the cops, not her sister. So I want to hear what she got to say in public. What do you mean they took the sister statement? They didn't take no sister statement. What are you talking about? Her sister said it publicly. What are you talking about? Her sister, hold on. Let me say this to you. Katie's sister can't say a fucking word in this case if she was not there. Nothing she says means anything if she wasn't there. We're not even, bro, you're not listening to me? I'm not saying Katie's guilty of anything, brother. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? You said why the cops not after Katie. Do you guys not have listening skills? First of all, I said that Katie, once again, you must not have no brains, brother, at all. A lot of these people on the internet, bro, it shows you the lack of common sense that goes on the internet. I'm telling people straight up, I'm not accusing Katie of a crime at all. I don't know if she committed a crime or not. I'm not here to do that. I'm saying that Katie needs to come to the public, right? And she needs to speak out personally. Because I don't do no, oh, my sister said or my cousin said. I don't do none of that shit. Because by the time that you get a story from one person to the, how many times have y'all told one person a story, and by the time it gets to the next person, details have changed? No. I want to hear directly from you. You were there. If the sister wasn't there, she need to sit down and shut up. I don't want to hear nothing from her. I want to hear from Katie. Katie was there. Katie ain't got a mouth. She can't talk. Boy, y'all got a whole protection program out here for this girl. Boy, this is insane. I've never seen in a death investigation, I've never seen so many people cap and protect a certain person who is a key figure that day from just wanting to see what she said. Think about that. Yeah, I really want y'all to put that in your mind. Think about what I just said. Why is there so much blowback when you say, hey, man, I just want to hear what she got to say? I want to know what her phone said. And it is about what she says, too, because here's the thing. Her phone is not going to tell everything either. Her phone is only going to tell certain parts. So I disagree with you, my sister, Nafisha Jackson. No, she needs to speak out. And the reason why I said speak out is because people like Nancy Grace are going to ask her detailed questions. What time did you go? What time did you leave that day? See, we ain't just talking about what's in your phone as far as pertaining to Nolan getting on that boat. I'm talking about she need to be asked in public. What time did you go? What time did you leave? Was anybody else with you when you said you witnessed a situation with Nolan and the boys? Was anybody else standing with you? All these different questions. She need to be asked publicly. Why? Because that can help the investigation. So the person who said she spoke to the cops, bro, you don't know what she said and what she didn't say. That's the point. I'm not getting over it. It's called Ticket TV. I'll talk about this shit every day if I want to. Period. And I will do it. Just because you said I'm going to talk about this shit every day. Just because y'all hot and bothered. I'm going to make sure I smoke this whole situation out. She is going to have to talk to the public. Period. I'm telling you like this. She's going to have to come talk to the public. I want y'all to understand this. Right? Because I would have a million questions for her. Katie, do you have a boyfriend? Did you have one at the time where you were on the island with Nolan Wells? See, all this information is important. Nobody's asking. Oh, Ticket, why would you ask her if she has a boyfriend? No, you're rolling. Shut your mouth. Katie, did you have a boyfriend at the time that you were allegedly hugged up with Nolan on Horns Island? If you had a boyfriend, was he on Horn Island that day? Did he come to Horn Island that day? How was it that you met Nolan that day? What did you guys conversate about? Did you have plans after leaving Horn Island with Nolan? Did Nolan give you his number? Did you try to text Nolan when you got back to the mainland? The last time you saw Nolan, what direction did he walk in? See, these are all questions I would ask her. Map it right out there. Yo, where were you at? Show me where you were at on the island when Nolan was getting into it with the boys over the boat. What direction did you see Nolan walk in last? The last time you seen Nolan, what direction did he walk in? And what direction did you walk in? Were you with anyone else? How many people do you think approximately witnessed that whole situation? These are all the questions I would ask. She might say something that sparks somebody else's memory that day in public. This is why you ask questions always. You always ask questions, right? So I'm not talking about by the cops because she's already been questioned by the cops. This is the thing people don't understand. They don't know what the cops said. See, you have to really have common sense to think what I'm saying. Think about this. If Katie talked to the cops, which she already did, right? And the cops don't have any case against those boys. None of those boys are arrested. What do you think Katie told the cops? This is why she needs to speak out. Because, like I said, what if she exonerated the boys to the cops and helped further their story? Now are you thinking? So instead of me assuming what she said to the cops, I would rather just ask her in the public her side of the story. Right? Think about what I said. See, if we're not privy to the case file and what she told investigators, boy, yeah, that's gonna be a very sad day on the internet when they drop that grand jury report and people find out what Katie's statements were to the cops. I'm trying to tell y'all this. Excuse me, David. Are you not listening? That's exactly what we said, buddy. But we're saying we should ask Katie in the public because she's a key figure who claimed to have witnessed. They're claiming she witnessed a key moment and has text messages. That's why we want to see her messages. And I want to ask her to see if it's true or not. Yeah, I want to ask her. I don't want to ask nobody on TikTok, Instagram. I don't want to ask none of them people. I want to ask her. I want to go right to the source. Yeah, we ain't doing no dancing around this shit. Right? So get off your knees, brother, and get off the protection program, bro. We're not doing no protection program over here. Period. Think about that. And everybody just been giving us. I'm telling y'all, they are going to watch what I tell y'all. If they find out when the case file comes out, because think y'all, the police have not arrested those boys. The police seemingly don't have a link to put Nolan on that boat. Well, if they interview Katie and Katie puts Nolan on the boat, wouldn't the boys be in big trouble? But what if Katie didn't put Nolan on the boat? Man, now it would explain even further why nobody's been arrested or charged, which is why we need to ask Katie, hey, Katie, what did you witness that day? See, I don't want to go off nobody else's words because it always comes when we come to the case, it's always different when we get to the facts, right? And to the people who say Katie's not saying nothing, no, she's not saying nothing because you're not making her say nothing. See, here's the thing right here. If the public puts enough pressure, she'll have to come out with her lawyer and speak. Straight up. If Tatum would just drop those text messages, she would have to come out and speak, forced. That's why I told y'all Tatum protecting her. Tatum is protecting that girl. He's protecting her because he's not putting out those text messages he claimed to have. But what he's also doing is he's hurting those boys too, right now. Well, why would Tatum protect Katie? Because she's white. If Katie were black, Tatum would have already dropped those text messages he claimed to have. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. He wouldn't have waited to ask her. Now he would have dropped that shit. Boom. Peep game now. You're looking at the wrong people, sir, in my opinion. Watch. When we come back, when we bounce from this shit, we come back, watch what everybody gonna say. When the real case file come out, everybody gonna be like, damn, Ticket, you was right. Watch, they gonna come back over here. They all gonna be, watch. They all gonna be dogging out Katie. Watch. Watch what I tell you. And to the person that says speculate, I'm not speculating. See, that's the part right there. I'm not speculating. I want to talk to the source. That's not speculation. That's called investigation. See, so you're wrong, Carl. It's the difference between speculation and investigation. When you want to question the people that were there, that's investigation. When you go off what mofos put on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that's speculation. And it has no place in the court of law. See? Y'all heard what I said, right? Peep game now. Right? So, yeah, man. Appreciate all of y'all, man. Salute to y'all. Came in here and gave y'all damn near an hour this morning, man. You dig? You say you don't see him arresting anyone? Well, man, you haven't even seen the case file. Oh, yeah, little faith. Well, you have to see the case file first, man, to see what's going on. We haven't even seen the case file. At least let us see the case file first. Right? The case file could say, hey, look, we're investigating somebody completely different. But we need more information. You never know what the case file say. At least wait till the case file come out to show all the details. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know what's up, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this stream today. You said Mississippi is a state of corruption. There's a lot of states of corruption, not just Mississippi. What state do you live in, Mel? Your state might be corrupted. So it ain't just Mississippi. There's a lot of states that have corruption. You know, deep corruption. You know what I mean? To the person who says Tatum's a liar, it's not about Tatum being a truth teller or a liar. I don't care about Tatum, whether he tells a lie or tells the truth. All I care about is evidence. And guess what he has that a lot of these other content creators don't have? He showed video footage from that day. That's evidence with timestamps on it that have been verified. That is evidence. So I don't give a damn about what he say. He can't say nothing to me if he ain't got no evidence. I want to see the actual evidence. Remember I asked y'all what type of clothes Nolan had on? Did he have on a shirt? Did he have on sandals? It looked like Nolan had on a white shirt with chancletas. Peep game now. Oh, you definitely got a lot of racism in your state. You from New York, man. Straight up. Not even a question. We was talking about Buffalo the other day. Anyway, so y'all see this right here, right? Well, you know, the lynchings and stuff like that, that's one thing down south, but you have other hate crimes against blacks in other states. They're just not that. But look right here. Y'all see that? That look like Nolan right there in that white shirt. Sean Klecktas. Yeah, nobody's asking what happened to his sandals, what happened to his shirt. Nobody's asking that. Nobody's asking those questions. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, fuck Tatum. It's not about Tatum. I only care about the evidence in the case. What Tatum says is useless. It's the evidence that's useful. Real evidence. Right? Witness testimony. Cell phone records. Authenticated video footage. Authenticated audio. That's real evidence. Eyewitness testimony. Clothing. Etc., etc.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.